Guys, sorry, everything's been a bit crazy for me at the minute. Um, I Monday um, fell over. I was cutting some branches down off of a tree outside because it's getting rather big. And as I was cutting this branch, thinner and thinner, um, I then decided to pull the branch so that it snapped. I did that okay, but then it all got stuck in the other branches, and like a fool, I pushed the other way, and it did go, and I went with it, and I've now broken. Um, don't laugh, but it is a joke. The humerus, it's called. It's the bone between the shoulder and the elbow. Um, so had the fire brigade, had the fire brigade, the police, and the ambulance. Now, would you believe the ambulance dictated or deemed themselves to be 2 hours wait time, and they kept on um, coming down in time, and I think it was about an hour just before an hour before they came. But the police, yeah, fire brigade came near enough straight away. I'm most surprised. Yeah, but all of them were good. Um, yeah, I mean, I can't fault them. They were all good. But got into hospital, A&E, the entrance, and I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. The amount of elderly in beds stuck in the corridors. I've seen this once before, but it's usually um, sort of February time you see this. I don't know whether it does carry on into the year. I know they keep on going on about the virus, this, that, and the other. Um, and if it was not for the crew, the ambulance crew, I think I would have been in there, if not all day, probably both day and night. Um, it's quite horrendous looking. Uh, I can't dress myself. Um, it's ridiculous because I've got one hand, and I'm struggling. I really am struggling. I cancelled all my eBay items. Oh, I can see why I had this coin. I was looking at the reverse, and I couldn't work out why, but I do see it now on here. Um, Bless them. I I've got to say, even though the end um, conclusion was gobsmacking, um, they sent me home, and I said, "What do you mean? I've got no money on me, no nothing like that." And they said, "There's no hospital transport." And I thought, "Well, how do you expect me to get home?" So she said, "You have to get a taxi." I said, "But I haven't got the money." So she said, "Well, get in the taxi, go to where you are, and then get the money from there." So I thought, "Oh God, yeah, all right." I said, "I'll do that then." But it's fatal. See, I've been in this position before with hospitals. They clearly made it obstinately clear that they wanted me out of the hospital. They've had taken X-rays. My this bone, it's shattered in three places. So basically, my arm at the moment, if it's not in a sling, it will just flop around. um, and the funny thing is, you can move. I can move my fingers, which I thought when you break your bones, you can't. But obviously, I'm wrong there. And yeah, it's horrendous. She said you did a very good job. She said she didn't know what to say, to be honest. Um, so she gave me this piece of paper. I can't show you it. She's got phone numbers on it, and it's called the Virtual Fracture Clinic. And I was looking at this today, and I thought, do you know what? This is so political. It's unreal. It's all about figures, getting you in and out. I can't remember who I was talking to up there, and I think it was the ambulance crew. They said since midnight since midnight of the 18th, they had 5,000 and something calls. I said, "Is it a full moon?" So yeah, at that time of the night. But obviously it wasn't. All those were coming in early in the morning. That's what it was. That's why they couldn't come to me. But obviously, um, I was sort of more of a case than obviously what I thought. Oh, pardon me. Just had sardines on toast, and yeah, how pitiful it really is. This is exactly what I've said before. I don't know whether I said it when I'm doing my coins. I'm only doing this for just something to do because I can't really keep spinning these coins around. Um, I've got a great big block of wood on in front of me with my magnifier. Uh, yeah, they they are not dealing with the problem now. Starmer, our political lust leader, has now said that they're going to get a 5% pay rise, and that's teachers, doctors, and nurses, which is fine. That's fair enough. I mean, they blooming deserve it. I've got to say, they do deserve it, but it's all they're not dealing with the problem. They're just throwing money at silly things like the virtual fracture clinic, which would do exactly the same as what any nurse would do. So, like I say, I've said this before with government, the way they behave. If government come up against a problem, they don't deal with the problem, they go around the problem. So the problem still exists. You've still got pen pushers demanding this, that, and the other of the people. And then in the meantime, they go around the problem. And then what happens is, next year, someone will go into the system of government and change it. They'll change it back. So this is what you have. You have a to and fro between policy, which does absolutely nothing. All it does is get a brownie point for the person that's done it. Oh yes, that's a wonderful idea. We'll do that. It's mind-boggling. It, it's a dinosaur. I mean, if you remember or you know of Yes Prime Minister, the program is so true. It's hilarious, but that is the truth. What you're seeing there is the truth. It's the white collar workers working the government. Anyway, yeah, it is funny, but I'll tell you why I've gone to this coin now because it's getting boring. There are bits wrong. This is wrong. I'm doing it. I'm sorry, I can't hold my pen with my left hand, and I can't do anything with my right hand. Um, Yeah, you can see bits there. What else did I just see? I saw something else just a minute ago while I was talking. Can't see it. It's probably going to be something like that because I think that's a blob of metal under the G. The earring is not too bad. The pearl earring. God, this is blooming disgraceful. The Queen's head. This has been really in terrible circulation. It's so beaten up. I think I will take it out. I mean, look at that chunk missing there on the rim. But the 20p coin is my most hated coin. It's so disgustingly designed. The other thing it might be is this beading, and it's normally in this. Oh God! No, I can't. Let me try doing it the other way. There. Just opposite the tail. What a diabolical joke. I can't even do this. No, come on. See, I've got to get used to this, how it behaves with it being on a block of wood. There. Right opposite the tail. There's usually 3 or 4. And the other thing is this claw. Where is it? Oh, now, yeah. See, you can see it now. But this is so damaged, this coin, you can't make out what's what. This claw nearest that line, nearest the beading line. So it's, again, under the tail. Oh, this is messed up. I see I need my right hand because my left hand doesn't do what my brain wants it to do. No, it's just not going to. No, see, look, I'm going to do it. There. Anyway, you get the gist. It's that one on the edge. Normally, that is so poorly done, struck. You wouldn't even know that it was a claw. So that's probably why I had that coin. Actually, I probably might even look at that again and not do it. Like I say, I had quite a few of my coins listed, some with bids, but I just can't. I can't do it. I had a neighbour, someone won a pound note that I had, an old pound note, and my neighbour, bless her heart, took it up to the post office. But I can't expect her to take all my bloody eBay stuff. You know, you can't do it. It's not fair. So I cancelled all the rest, which has done me no good. Oh, and the stamp fiasco. That's my fault. On the when they did the stamp swap back in 2020 something or the other, can't think what year it was. What, we in 25 now? It might have been 2022. I think it's about a couple of years or 3 years. On the form, I was talking with one of the girls and we went through it, and I said what was on the form, and she stopped, and I thought, oh, what have I said? Anyway, it's the first class stamps I were using was can't think of the word. This is the other thing. My head is just so, I don't know, blocked up with rubbish. So yeah. Now, unbeknown to me, they are still doing the stamp swap all these years after, which I thought was amazing because it's not right. Um, it really isn't right. Um, anyway, uh, so I went round and round in circles, um, just being passed on to person to person to person, which was just not getting anywhere. And I demanded it to be taken further, an escalation to a claim, because although I had an idea what it was, I didn't really know exactly what's what. So I did go on a stamp site and uh, engage in a forum. All I got was a lot of abuse from them as well. Anyway, I can't help it. So, oh, my arm. So I've just had a bit of a snooze as well. I'm taking all these meds to try and kill the pain. Oh, no, I won't even go there. Anyway, so I've all the rest of my stamps that are under this category, I've sent back in. Um, I don't know what they're doing. They're taking their time because it was the last bank holiday. Because I posted them on a Friday, special delivery, and the girl said to me at the post office, she said, "Hang on, I've got to just take these." Oh dear, that's the other thing. I can't tilt my head back. Um, swallow these pills, and she said, "Tuesday then." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Go on," because it was the bank holiday Monday, and so I said, "Yeah, go on." So that was like 3 days wasted. Um, and then I had a problem with the guy. One of the guys I spoke to originally said, "Look, he said if you're in doubt, just send it to them anyway, and if it isn't um, a swap stamp, they'll just send it back." So I said, "Okay," but I don't think they've taken too kindly to it because it seems very funny that I've gone on for this amount of time without even hearing from them, and I just think, "Oh right, fair enough, go with the flow." So I don't know what's going to happen. Um, I know I didn't finish the form correctly because I guess one part of it, how many bags that I sent back, and I said 30, because what you had to do is you had to either do it by the design of the stamp or the monetary value. So I did them all by monetary value, bundled them up into them values and then put that on the form. And funny enough, the worst one for me was first class. Could I count these things? I done it about 8 times, and each time I counted them, it was different. So, oh my lord, um, yeah, uh, yeah, I can't believe it. But at the moment, there's no point me talking to anybody anyway because, as you can tell, I'm just not really with it. And I'm not even going. No, I'm not even going to do this coin. I'll just let you see if you can guess what's wrong with this coin. There you go. There's a little question for you. What's wrong with this coin? When it just, hang on a minute, it just fits in. If I can get it to do what I want it to do, it just fits in that window. A £2 coin doesn't, as you saw, or I might not have even. I don't know whether I have downloaded that onto YouTube. Um, Yeah. Can you guess what's wrong with that coin? You should know by now, and you should be straight up. There's certain places you've got to look. I'll try and take the light down because it may be a disadvantage. No, it's about as best as you want to do it. Otherwise, you're going to lose it. Um, yeah, but the pain I'm in is unreal. It really is unreal. The top piece of the bone is coming out the socket. Keeps popping out the socket because there's nothing to hold it there. It's like how can I describe it to you? There's like a lump of bone that goes in the socket. Then there's one, two, three fractures. Fractures, they're not fractures, they're broke. Two of them are diagonal, one's lengthways. I'm sort of actually beginning to fear that I'm going to lose an arm because at this rate, by the time the 9th of June comes round for this appointment, I don't even know whether I'll be here, to be honest. I'm just sick of it. This is most unlike me, but I'm really sick of life. I am really sick of life. You know, when I won't say that I know, but I have a pretty good idea when this planet's gonna change. Let's put change. That's not the word I'm looking for. But if you take it from the religious point of view, Jesus is going to come back and make it all nice and like it was with the Garden of Eden. I'll go along with that. It's not exactly that, but it's very similar. You see, the Bible you have to work upon. It's no good just reading it. You have to work upon and you have to understand. And there's one thing you must understand straight away with the Bible is God, Jesus, and the Spirit are all one thing. And once you get your head around that, it's I don't know whether people are actually looking at that part of my channel, but once you get your head around that, and I really shouldn't be saying this because even I don't know. That's what I'm main point. This is what I know myself in myself to what it's all about. And funny enough, talking about that, spirit must be with me. I was just talking about. I woke up the other morning and I was talking, and it was about a film. I had an idea for a film, and I've just written that somewhere. I don't know where the heck I've written it. Oh, it was one of my replies in the news, and I said I've got a brilliant idea for a film or a book, but I really wouldn't know how to go about it. And it's called The Cube or Lucky Seven. You can as a title or two titles. And I went through the process of the book. See, I don't know whether this is no, anyway, I won't go into that. Of how to do this book because I had it all set out in my mind. I was talking in I wasn't awake. Although I was awake, I wasn't awake. And I don't even know who I was talking to. And I spelled it all out. And then there was like three voices. Um, how should I how should I how should I do this? And I said, I don't know. I've lost everything that I've just said, which was quite a bit. I've just lost. I said, now I've got to backtrack and work it all out again. And it's as if there's going to be three people that are going to help me do this book. Well, I originally was going to write a book about Genesis, the beginning, because um, I studied it well, even though I've forgotten most of it. It's really quite weird. Um, I studied it quite well. I suppose I didn't need to know now, but it's fantastic when you do this. It is. It's fantastic when you understand the Bible. And I was taking it that the Bible that talks back to you. That's another amazing thing. You know, you get all this Christians do talking in tongues. It's like that, but that scared the crap out of me. That did. And yeah, it's it's sort of very similar to that, but it's not so verbal. But I likened it to The Matrix. The same as this film is the same sort of thing that I would do. It's a version of that, because The Matrix is a spiritual form through the elite. The elite were saying what their vision was going to be, and their vision of what it's really all about. You know, and when I first saw The Matrix, the first one, I was absolutely stunned. It was. I said, I can't remember who I was sitting next to, but I said to him, I said, whoever done this film was very spiritual, because you wouldn't be able to dream that up, because it was so real, you know. And when I talk to people spiritually, um, there's a favourite little saying of mine. It is, but it isn't, and that's how spirit come across. It is, but it isn't, because the whole point is there's a yes and no, and neither are wrong. Now get that through. You try working that one out. Anyway, and in one of my, because I started my channel started with me going to the cemetery, and I still go in there. I went in there not so long ago, to be honest. I went in there a week ago, I think it was. Well, no, coming up to the end of this week already. No, say 2 weeks ago, early 2 weeks ago, and I always go in there, and there's a couple of people in there I know, and there's a boy in there who communes with me, talks to me, um, and some of the things I've said, although they may sound spitting there, it's probably bits of sardine. Um, it's the truth, but it's scary. Um, I don't know how to put it, and I really shouldn't put it, because I know that we've all got to suffer now. We're definitely in the years of the suffering, that's for sure, without a shred of a doubt. And that's supposed to be seven. I think they call it the tribulation. The Americans do. It's 3 years in and 3 years out, and then it's the end, because you have the one in the middle, so it's 7 years. And yeah, that's sort of like the basis of it. So yeah, I went through all this over again, and with this book, and I still couldn't remember it. See, my memory is just, it's going. It really is going. I have no desire to fight, stand up for myself. Um, I'm I haven't been to church for some time now. I went about 3, 4 weeks ago, and I told the pastor, I said, I'm sorry, but I said I'm in dispute with our Lord, and I said I can't come because I'm doing exactly what most people do that go to church, which is to be seen to doing the right thing and not doing it themselves. And I said that's something I've just realised I'm not doing it myself. Um, I'm just going for the sake of doing it because I don't do any spiritual work now. Um, and because Christianity is not that way. It talks about spirit, but it doesn't do it. But they do only when it suits them. And yeah, I forgot what I was going to say. I've got. It's God. I've lost the track. This is drugs as well. Um, I burst into tears about a quarter of the way through the sermon because I was being spoken to, and I couldn't stop crying. Um, Continually wiping my eyes of tears, which does. I'm not the best singer of songs at the best of time, but I couldn't read anything, and I really wanted to run out. Run out. I really did. Um, there was a bloke there looking at me, and he said, "Gee, oh no, I can't say the words he used." And I heard him say it, and I thought, "You have no idea, pal, what's going on if you think what you're thinking." So I knew what he was thinking. He thought my tears were um, an act of sort of understanding, but I know full well what it was all about. So he didn't, but he made a situation that a man crying is a sign of weakness, and it's not. It's not at all. It's one thing men tend not to do is cry, and that's installed in us as a child. Most children go for that with their fathers. Don't let them know that you cry and all the rest of it. That's a load of old baloney because you've set that child up for a fall, and that fall will be when he gets married because you've got to be seen. In actual fact, you can go back through history, and that's how they were all brought up. You know, when they was in the times of the hard times, the 1800s to 1900s, um, you know, they were brought up in poverty. They had to be strong. They had to work for the family. You know, they all had large families so that they could survive. And that's all wrong. That's not the point. It does make me giggle. There's a thing called the thread of life, and that's what gets passed down to each child as they're born. And now, if you look at it, children of 4 years old are taught sex and all this garbage about you can be whatever you want to be, whatever you feel you are, you can be. And there's a there's a spiritual reason why um, gay people do what they do, and it's nothing to do with what they think. It's nothing like they think they're females. They're not. That's the spirit inside them challenging them all the time. And that's why you have um, a good looking person and a not so good looking person as a partner. That's why it's like that. And their temper tantrums are because they don't understand. This is where it is and it isn't comes in because they can't deal with the truth because they don't know what the truth is, which is fine. You know, I've got nothing against them. Um, as long as they don't try anything with me. That's all I say. And don't try convincing me that you think you know the truth, because you don't. That's the way you are. That they're thinking. That's the thinking, but it's not. You can change that, the same as we can change to love the world. But we don't do it because humanity is a cancer of the world, and it has been since Adam and Eve. The basics of that, you were shown straight away from Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel, and one killing the other, and that was it. That was the whole crux of Genesis, the beginning and the end, and it was straightforward. That was it. Um, and then all the rest of it just follows on. That God kept forgiving the Jews, kept punishing them, etc., etc., etc. And the truth of all of that, though, is mind blowing, because people, these experts and so forth, who poo-poo it all. I'm sure I've said this before in one of my posts. If you feel that I'm saying what's right, just look at my early posts. Nothing to do with the coins. And I explain as much as I can in there. The same as climate change. It's all a load of poop. It's all a load of poop. It is, but it isn't. It's true, but it isn't. Global climate change, global warming or climate change, whichever one you want to call it, that happens naturally. It's a natural cycle of the Earth. Now, if I get this right, it's every 246 years. And if you want to learn about that, there's a guy on YouTube who has a channel called the Die Hold Foundation, and I bought one of his books. Can't remember what it's called now. It was the second book of his that I read. Nope, I can't. But it was all about music, or the involvement of music and the alphabet, of the Jewish alphabet. And if you listen to Islam, when they're talking, it's all in like a song. It's when they're doing that wailing in the morning, that's what it's all about, because it sounds just like a constant yawning, and that's what it is. The alphabet, especially the Jewish, the Torah, or they call it something else. It's alphabetical, and this guy has put it two and two together. He's done a very good job. I mean, to start from beginning with his posts, especially if you haven't got any sort of spiritual knowledge whatsoever, it's hard to understand. It's hard to understand, but he believes something that I don't believe. He believes that humanity will survive. It will only survive if Jesus comes back. If Jesus doesn't come back, you're just going to repeat the same thing over and over and over again, which is the Matrix. And his instruction is very much so. I know I understand that music is key with spiritualism. It's key um, because it's the way we vibrate in song, and that brings spirit towards us because they are um, of sound wave, if you like, energy. So that's how you got to look at it. And then you'll either get a message or not. Sometimes you don't, sometimes you do. But all when I was, I'm jumping again here now. When I lost my job in 1997, um, I went into a deep depression, and the thing that brought me out of it was astrology. And I bought a computer program from America and started doing this. And I studied my own life, the things, the events in my life that changed me for the future. And I then bought a book, another American, Joanne Wickenburg. I can't remember what it's called. The birth chart. The birth chart in simple ways. It wasn't. It was definitely the birth chart of something or the other. And it was. The book itself was so explanatory in a simple way. You can understand it. What we see in astrology today with newspapers and fortune telling and all the rest of it is a lot of old crud. It's a lot of old crud. But see, I think we're actually in it. But I don't know the age of Aquarius. I think we're actually in it now, but I'm not sure. Um, now it's gone. Yeah. So it's seen as a cult. Um, the Bible tells you um, not to have anything to do with it, as God in Genesis, He is the only one, and He's a jealous God, and that's another. It is, but it isn't. This thing round my neck. It's like a flipping. I know how oxen feel now. This blooming. And yeah, you shouldn't have anything to do with the spirit, they say. But this is contradictory by the Christian belief because you're praying to spirit. So it's contradiction. What it actually is Jesus says that he doesn't believe in religion. Jesus actually says that he doesn't believe in religion because it's not the word of God. Um, so there you have that. And this is how you go through the Bible. It's putting two and two together, going backwards and forwards. It's I liken it to if you read the Bible forwards and then read it backwards, it's much clearer. It's much clearer. But there you go. And sometimes I really dislike religion. It's because it's like this climate change, global warming change. Um, it's a nonsense, absolute nonsense. So there you go. You've had a 3/4 of an hour of talking about something that I really shouldn't be talking to you about. But it is interesting. It's mind changing. There's a bloke on YouTube. I'll tell you, listening to his stuff is Callum. Callum. I can't remember his name. Oh, I can't even remember his channel's name. Let me have a look.